This is important news for all Medicare beneficiaries. You can expect to see a few important laws go into effect very soon. Many low-income Americans will be able to save hundreds of dollars thanks to a bill that has just been signed into law. Congress is also cutting the cost of living for older Americans. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for everything that you need to know. Also, do stay tuned because I'll be announcing the winners of today's Walmart gift card giveaway. Remember, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wajda, you talked about in Indiana, the median home price, $397,000. I mean, that just seems outrageously high as a median. And that's actually higher than what the median is across the country. Interest rates, we talked about where they are. But regulation, as it comes from here especially, can you cite a couple of the key regulations that drive costs up? And generally, they're always well-intended, but then can work at cross purposes for the affordability factor. If you would highlight a couple of the most challenging ones from here, and then likewise coming from our own state.
Take you roughly 25% of the cost of a home is due to regulations. I like to say that's no sticks and that's no bricks going into the house. That's simply government regulations that further reduce housing affordability all across this great country. And so if you look at the federal level, it could be regulations dealing with stormwater. A recently Supreme Court decided case, the Sackett case dealing with wetlands on private property, are all regulations that are ultimately added to the cost when a home builder and a developer is looking to develop a piece of ground. They have to take into account those regulations and pass those costs on to the home buyer. That continues to raise the cost of housing. At the local level, a lot of times we see architectural standards baked into local ordinances. So certain communities want housing in their community to look a certain way. They may want all brick houses. They may want certain roof pitches, 3-car side load garages, larger lot densities. Those are all things that we can provide as home buyers to the consumer and to the public, but those come at a cost. And so if we can get creative at the local level and communities can start to look at reducing lot sizes and allowing smaller houses to be built in their communities, we think we can attempt to drive down the cost of housing.
I want to give a shout out to a company in Indiana, the Cook Medical Group, who does medical device manufacturing as its business, but has taken on trying to make affordable housing something that they're going to try to make weigh in on.
Prescription makers around the globe are bracing for a major shakeup in how one of their largest customers does business. On September 1st, 2023, Medicare will target its first 10 drugs for historic price negotiations. The medications are sure to be among the country's costliest and will likely include some common treatments for cancer and diabetes. The negotiations could save the federal government about $100 billion by the year 2031 and slash some prices Medicare pays by half. The power to negotiate prices directly with drug companies is one that Medicare has never had before in its 50-year history. Although this unprecedented negotiation process presents several tricky decisions for Medicare. Experts said the need to keep finding better treatments for dire diseases looms largest, while Medicare is motivated to lower about $150 billion it spends each year on medications and help the nearly 1 in 4 older Americans who struggle to afford prescriptions. The agency is also aware that profits from these products help make future blockbusters possible. So with this new authority, Medicare can begin to push back far more firmly and directly on some of the prices that the agency sees as unjustly high. A tax penalty intended to assist Californians without health insurance, known as individual mandate, will be enacted 4 years after Governor Gavin Newsom approved the measure in 2019. Those who have insurance through Covered California may experience lower health care costs, which will include striking some patients' hospital deductibles up to $5,400. Insurees could see their copay for primary care visits drop, and cost decreases for generic drugs. Out-of-pocket spending will be maxed at $6,100 a year. It is a decrease from the previous $7,500 cap. Under Newsom's administration, California collected hundreds of millions of dollars a year in tax penalties from uninsured residents after adopting a health insurance requirement in 2019, which was originally required by the federal Affordable Care Act. But the Republican-led Congress eliminated the measure in 2017 when the Supreme Court shut down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan about 1 month ago. Millions of borrowers were dealt a really tough blow. Many Americans had been banking on having a portion or all of their lingering debt completely wiped out. Now, after a multi-year pause in payments, federal student loan borrowers will have to gear up to start forking money over to their student loan servicers once again. President Biden may not have been successful in his quest to have student loan debt forgiven broadly, but his administration managed to wipe out $130 million in student loan debt for a select group of borrowers. And while those borrowers fell into a very specific category, there could be more instances of similar loan forgiveness to come. The Biden administration recently announced that it will forgive $130 million in student loans taken out by Americans who attended College America in Colorado. President Biden's original plan to forgive federal student loan debt was not related to fraud. Rather, his goal was to lift the burden of debt for millions of borrowers who were poised to struggle without that relief. But on a broad level, student loan forgiveness is unlikely to happen anytime soon. So borrowers who have enjoyed the reprieve over the past 3 years should accept that student loan payments will soon become a part of their monthly expenses. However, that does not mean that student loan forgiveness is off the table completely for federal borrowers. Current borrowers may have the option to move over to an income-driven repayment plan. The upside there is that these plans allow for monthly loan payments to be calculated as a percentage of income, and they also come with eventual loan balance forgiveness. Furthermore, President Biden's newly introduced Save Repayment Plan could serve the very important purpose of not only shrinking monthly student loan payments individually, but also making some borrowers debt-free within 10 years. That is a faster time frame than what current income-driven repayment plans allow for. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. My dearest friends, thank you so very much for being part of this community. The two winners of today's Walmart gift card giveaway is Dan Marshburn and Maria Martinez. Congratulations, my dearest friends! To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message, or you could message me on my Facebook page. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.